Hi. Thank you for having us here. Well, my name is Gaspar Espinoza. Sorry. I represent Odneyville Neighborhood Association. We have around 700 families registering our membership, and we all here are expressing our support for Bill S. 2333. And well, here we have a variety of bills. They are interlinked. Well, we have driver's license for undocumented for all residents of Rhode Island as we see it. As has been said before here, we have a variety of people which are here undocumented. I will take a number from Mr. Gordon. I'll borrow that. He says it's about 20,000 undocumented living on Rhode Island. Number said it is from 20,000 to 50,000. And well, I will say a lot of these people that we try to criminalize here, they've been here for a very long time. Rhode Island has suffered a loss of population. In the year 2020, Rhode Island is going to be losing, or it's in the list to losing a federal seat at the state level. We all know this. So when we keep people in the shadow, it's not hurting just the undocumented population, it's hurting all of us. So Rhode Island is going to lose a voice in the federal level. So it is important for us to acknowledge and truly pull these people out of the shadows. If they're truly 50,000, as many say, or 20,000, as Mr. Gorman said, they are entitled to have the right to travel free, the right to be acknowledged as a living person in our community, a producer, a father, and sometimes even a son, because we do have a lot of children as well that came without a choice. We have heard here children who have this difficult status or protective status, and as we read, someone read about the Bulgarian lady while she was in the process of legalizing. For 6 years, she was not able to obtain a driver's license. So we have to acknowledge this, that the path to citizenship is not just 18 months, as it was said earlier. I'm a U.S. veteran. I married a woman from a foreign country, and it took her 3 years to get her residency card. The first 2 years, it is a temporary or conditional residency card, and then she has to be married to me, forcibly, to a U.S. citizen for 3 years in order to apply for a citizenship. And that is a lot longer than 18 months. Simple as that. So as a member of this community, as a veteran, as a father, and married to an undocumented woman as well for the year and a half that she was here, I please ask for you guys to consider passage to this bill and put it on the floor and have a democratic process and be voted as a whole group within the community, not just this community. Now we have the E-Verify bill as well. E-Verify bill is a waste of time and money and resources. I used to own a business with my brother, and I was in California, and this is what happened with the E-Verified. You hire someone that fit the bill. And so you do all the paperwork. It is true, it takes about 25 minutes to submit all the paperwork within. So you hire, let's say, you hire this person, great worker. So now you have the right to ask. He has 10 days to provide all this paperwork that you're asking. And he does this. So that's 3 weeks of training. 10 days of training, 2 weeks, of regular work pay. Then you train in this person, then you submit all this paperwork. Then it will take about 3 more weeks for this paperwork to be submitted. Because you want to save money, most employers will mail this, and this will add another 3 weeks. So you're speaking about 6 weeks from the moment you hire that person. And then you're going to get a letter saying the Social Security number in the name doesn't match. It might be because you spelled wrong the name, or the copy he submitted, it wasn't readable. So you have to ask again another 10 more days to the person to provide the proper documentation, and you copy it and you fax it back. and then you get another 3 weeks to reconfirm. So you're speaking already of at least 15 weeks that you've been paying this person for training. Let's say that person was undocumented and the papers did not match. So the employer have lost 15 weeks of pay, trained, just to fire the very good worker. And most employers will not really do so because they already invested 15 weeks. And this is why in most states that had E-Verify has failed, because it's a burden and it's just a waste of resources for employers. So if you find someone who fit the bill.
Senator Archibald.
Thank you. Respectfully, though, you're very sincere, and I have great compassion for the majority of your testimony, but isn't E-Verify, at least the concept of E-Verify, and I've grappled with it for several years now, isn't the spirit of E-Verify placed on, and I qualify it by saying when we don't have a defined pathway to citizenship in this country, and we need one. I mean, let me just finish and we need one. Isn't the spirit that's embodied in E-Verify sound, even if, assuming in your hypothetical that there is someone who went for the 15-week process and then was washed out and it was a quote-unquote waste of time, the overall policy approach behind E-Verify, isn't that sound? That's my question to you.
Well, I think the employer should have the choice and decision power of hiring whoever he wants to fit his bill. And if I'm going to invest 15 weeks of training, regardless of the E-Verify, whatever he's saying, I just simply say, you know what, never mind this, I really like how you work, I'll pay you cash, and this is the problem. And then the economy goes wrong, and this is what's been happening. Instead of having someone contributing to our tax system, which a lot of these undocumented people do, and they never received any benefit on return because they pay Social Security, TDI, and all of this, and they have no access when they get fired to it because the number they have given doesn't match. So as an employer, I would just overlook that letter, whatever it says, and I will make a deal with that person. You know what? I will pay you 40 hours a week, cash, done deal. So I think by trying to implement conditions on the employers, it really robs the sense of having a business. Don't you think? So as an employer, that's my perception. E-Verify is a waste of resources. I do think it is. We experienced that. So for that reason, we oppose the E-Verify to be implemented. It was done. It was a great decision. Was done when it was removed for action here in Rhode Island, because the state is not sustainable. The state is still going through that depression, and very thankful for those undocumented workers that we have, that they don't have the ability to leave the state, and they have weathered this really bad situation that we all have experienced. We are what we are now, and we could have been a lot worse if it wasn't for them. So thank you very much, and we do support this bill for undocumented workers, and that's all I could say.